Hello folks, it's Ralf with Stray Benzes. Today's topic is power seats. Today we will look at the diode and at a couple of other things in the fuse box, and then a trick or two about how to get to the front of the seat and how to loosen up and how to get the cable connector or the big plugs off, and how to diagnose some of the power seat motor issues. As of model year 86, your fuse box should be looking something like this. And in another video I went over how to diagnose the main power circuit to the power seats. Next step would be to check this diode. This diode here can only go in one way. That's the whole point of a diode. It steers the electricity and lets it only through one way. So that's one thing that we're going to double check. And if it's okay, we'll just plug it back in. There you go. The other one is this relay right here. That's the power seat relay. That's another one that we can replace with another one, and see if that does. They are in there. Make sure that the contacts are not corroded or anything. This one looks perfect. I doubt it's the issue, but then H is the one for the power seats. So with those two things checked, next thing is the diode, the actual checking of it that I'm going to show, and then we'll get to the front of the power seat and how to remove the plugs. So checking the diode, or any diode for that matter, this is the one for the power seat. You set your electric meter to checking diodes. It's with it. Normally if you hold the contacts together, it will actually beep, meaning you have full continuity. But with the key of a diode is to only let voltage, positive voltage, through one side. So if it's busted, it goes through both ways. Very simple thing. So you put one contact on one pole and the other one on the other one. Hold on. Finicky. Oh, that's good. That's a good sign. One way it doesn't go through, but this way it does. So this is a good sign. This one is not your problem. This works. Turn it around, and there you go. Doesn't completely close, because otherwise that means it's going, voltage would go through all the way. I mean, it would be a hard contact. So that is not your problem. And before I forget, if your fuse box looks like this, power seat diode is here, and that's the power seat relay H on this model. Again, these very rarely go bad. They're pretty sturdy. They're not like the overload protection relay, the OVP that sits over there. Now that we've got that figured out, we'll pay attention to the plugs and to the diode. All right. What you do is, this is the front of the seat, and right under here are the plugs for the power seat modules. And you get the carpet going, and here you finally have access to this main plug right here. Hopefully, I just hope that you'll be able to get, and this one is obviously in need of vacuuming here. Oh man. But anyhow, besides that, you need to loosen up this big zip tie to be able to get behind this small little plastic piece, and loosen up the big plug to the seat, and hopefully you can get to the screws behind here, and in the back, obviously, this is one, and then in the back there are the other ones. So you can get the seat out, so you can get to the individual modules. It's very difficult to get in the behind there to diagnose any of the motors, most likely. And this is always something that I like to do, is get the seat out so you can put it on the bench and then diagnose it further. But I hope that you'll be able to get to those 4 screws. There's one hidden under here, and then in the back there are obviously 2 more hidden under there. And we'll just move the seat up front so I can show you. There we go. There we go. Very used and abused, but there's one screw, and here's the other. So you can hopefully get the car seat out, and then we can diagnose the problems, whatever they may be, from then on. The other thing that we can do is obviously clean the living daylights out of this one. This one has dust all over it. But once the seat is out, I'll show you how to diagnose the seats, and I'll go over one more little culprit that is so much trouble, and that is the most likely culprit, and that is this switch. This one is truly, in most cases, the whole reason why your seats don't work. That would be another episode. But next is tearing into the seat and the motors. There's one tip, folks, that I forgot about when I told you to disassemble the seat out of the car. And that is, if you cannot get the seat out because the seat screws that bolted to the floor, you can't get to them because you can't move the seat with the regular switch. There is a trick how to move the seat back and forth using an external power source if you have to, and that's what I'm going to show you next. And then we'll get into the various plugs on the seat that is disassembled. Before I also forget, please go ahead, make sure, like the video, subscribe, and ask somebody else, or forward the video to somebody else who might benefit from it. Alright, so here we go. Here's the next trick. Let's suppose the seat is still installed, and yes, this is an organ donor seat. As you can see, there's plenty of stuff wrong with it. It's a hodgepodge of organ donor part stuff, but nevertheless, this is how I showed you where the front seat, these carpet covers are, and how to remove the main plug. If you take this thing off in the car, obviously, oops, right there, that's the big plug that I told you to remove, and that's the zip tie. This plug right here you need to take out. If that is the one, and I'm just hoping you can get to it, this is the one that moves the seat back and forth. And with this coming out, you can use a power source to move the seat. All you need, a couple of alligator clips and wires, and a 12-volt power source like here. And then we're going to see these 2 contacts. The alligator clips go on these, and then we'll move the seat back and forth with the battery. That's the very same plug connected to my power source. That moves it forward. It's of course extremely tough to get to when it's moved all the way forward, but at least this way you can see that that moves. It's also already the first double check, the cross check, that if your seat doesn't move forward back and forth with the switch, the main switch in the door panel, and it works like this, then obviously it's the door switch or something in it, or it's something broken in the plug or the pins down here in that wiring. That is extremely rare though. So the next couple of things I'm going to show you are the other 4 motors and how to double check those. And if those motors all check out and you get the track lubricated, cleaned up, this one is really filthy, very busted, and I can't tell you how careful you need to be with these. These are, especially with Florida and hot climate and sunny states, this plastic cracks real easy. All right, folks, here it's getting serious now. This is the back, this is the seat, all the way under here. And also one huge tip, if you loosen any of these wires, take a couple of pictures and make sure that you know how and where all these wires are routed. There's especially the ones for the backrest and the headrest right here. If they are misrouted, you tend to shear these wires on the springs, or especially around this sharp corner, and that's not, you don't want to do that. So here are the four motors. This one right here on the very left is the one for the backrest. This one right here is the one for the headrest. This one is for the front height regulator, meaning the seat height going up and down. And this bad boy here is the one on the very right, is the one for the rear seat height adjustment. So what you do is you take a screwdriver, and here I loosened all of these up already. So here I can take this one out, and much like the other ones, I'm going to put the alligator clips in here, route the wires out, and then I can see if this motor is running okay. And you repeat that with all the four motors to see if they're okay. So here I've got my alligator clips installed, my battery source sitting here on the side, with one connected to the other with 12 volt DC. It doesn't really matter because that is the board voltage anyway. And here we go. This one works, doesn't make noises, and that's really what you'd like to hear. Nice, smooth running motors. All right, so that's pretty much it for this episode. You know now how to double check those motors. If they sound funky or make some interesting noises, you want to lubricate the track or something like that. You know how to get the seat out, know how to troubleshoot the motors, the mechanism, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the day. Like the video, share it with others, and give me a suggestion and a thumbs up too, but give me some suggestions what else I can cover. Reinstall the seat, and happy wrenching. Bye.